to reflect on this season from, how things started, those conversations you had with Kyle. I can't imagine that early in the season it was pleasant for you. How proud are you of the strides you made and where you ended the season from a personal standpoint compared to how you started the season?
Well, I think first, like Kyle says, and a bunch of people have said, the end of the season was kind of just like an tribute to everything that we've gone through. So getting to play in the playoffs, get to play in a division championship, it makes it a whole lot easier to look back and know that everything that you went through was for a reason, was for those moments. And then just getting the opportunity to play in those games, to get playoff experience, to know what it feels like to play in football games of that magnitude. It was a long, eventful, fun year, and I think really just now the hurt is just from not having anything to show for it, with all the things that this team went through, all these guys went through on a daily basis. From when we looked like there was nothing left, we were down and out. Everybody being able to fight and get stronger, get tighter as a group, and just continue to get better every single week. And it was a very fun run.
Brandon, Deebo was emotional after the game. I'm sure all of you were, but did you share some time with him just to kind of talk and go over what happened?
I talked to him yesterday after the game. Just the way that he played all season long. It was tough talking to him and seeing him emotional. But I talked to him on the plane when we were able to kind of calm down a little bit and just get back a little bit. But I talked to him. I live about a couple of houses down from him, so I'll continue to talk to him. But yeah.
And what does the off season look like for you? Do you have any specific goals, things that you want to concentrate on specifically?
Well, I think first this off season, I get to go into off season healthy, which is a huge blessing. Get through entire season and come out on the clean side and be able to start the off season on my terms and be able to start working on what I want to work on. Instead of having to start the off-season rehabbing. So I just know for me, it's just I think everybody has what they want. I know I have what I think I need to prove on as a player, and they have. So I think this year is just understanding what they want and what they think the areas of improvement are for me, and getting those and coming out to OTAs or whatever it is the first time we get together, just being on the same page. But I think for me, just having my legs under me.
Couple more.
Brandon, you mentioned the chance to play in games of the magnitude that you did over the last few weeks. What was that like for you going through that for the first time, and what are the things that you'll carry with you from that experience?
It was awesome. Going out to Dallas in the first week of the playoffs and playing there, just the feelings that you get, just how different football feels out there with those guys that you work so hard with for 17, 18 weeks. Getting to play in a football game like that, a playoff game, winning a game, going down to Green Bay where nobody believed that we can win with the same group of guys again, and just feeling how much tighter the group is getting, how much better we're getting every single week, how much closer everybody's getting, feeling the love that everybody has for each other, feeling what it feels like to be on a playoff team, understanding what it takes to get there and how hard it is. I think one of the main things that I learned this year was just everything that we talk about, everything that we've been through, but it obviously wasn't enough. So it's like there's even more that we have to tap into. We have to go even harder. We have to get even stronger, even better. So just understanding that we were a good football team this year, but not good enough. So just understanding that and just using that and just going harder.
Hey, Brandon, I don't mean to suggest that you weren't a willing blocker before, but it seems like you became more tenacious. Your block on Parsons, on Elijah's TD run against Dallas being an example. Did you develop more of a taste for it, or just a pride or ownership for run blocking throughout this year?
Well, I think if you turn on the tape, I think I was blocking well from week 1, but I just think there was more of an understanding, of the blocking assignments, of where the runs were going, of what I needed to do, and just understanding the run game a little bit more to not just be physical, but also add a level of finesse, I guess, to make blocks easier for myself, and just knowing where the ball is going to be hidden. But I think just throughout the course of the season, you just understand how big each block becomes even more and more important as the magnitude of the games get more important. So it's just like just holding yourself to that standard of the person I'm blocking is not going to make the tackle. I'm not going to be the reason why. I'm not going to let a corner or a safety fall off and be the reason our back got tackled, or be the reason why we don't bust a huge run because your guy. And I think the whole entire room and everybody kind of developed that of their guy wasn't going to be the one making the play, and that was kind of the thing from special teams to offense to defense.
Last two.
Brandon, you that was a huge disadvantage of your offense. Do you think that's something you explore?
I didn't hear the question. It was breaking up.
Brandon, how did that wasn't a huge part of your offense? Do you expect going forward that
We're gonna go to the next one, Jake. Sorry.
Brandon, I'm just wondering whether you and Trey Lance have talked at all about the offseason and whether you've got any plans to throw with him, to work out with him, to kind of keep up with him early in the offseason.
Yeah, we have Trey and I. We have the same trainer. We both work out together down in Southern California. So I've talked to him. I've talked to Nate as well. We'll be down there throwing together, working out together.
Thank you, Brandon.
Thank you.
Deebo, what's your end of season verdict on wide back? I mean, if the 49ers told you that the role that you had in the playoffs, for example, would be your role for the upcoming season, is that okay with you? Would you like that?
Yeah, I'm perfectly fine with it. Like I stated all year long, I'm down for whatever to help this team win in every aspect of this.
Eva, what's your immediate plans as far as just getting your body right, getting your mind right, and then the approach to get ready for 2022? Do you take some time off before you jump back in the grind?
Yeah, what's so crazy was I got in the locker room and I ain't seen my son in a month since he was born. So I was like, I get to go home. But then they come up to me, they was like, Pro Bowl is this coming weekend. So I was like, God, I totally forgot about that. But after that, go spend time with my fam, especially my son. And then, you gotta take time off for your body, your mind. So take a couple vacations before I get back to training.
So I assume that means you are going to the Pro Bowl. And what are you looking forward to that? Seeing other people who are at the absolute tops of the league and sharing experiences with them.
Of course, I think one of the main reason I was said I was going just to kind of take my mind off what just happened yesterday, and it just kind of clear my mind. Well, at least help even though it still hurts a little bit. But, it'll help kind of clear my mind a little bit just being around guys in the league.
Deebo, and not seeing your son for a month, did that add the kind of a mental aspect of difficulty that maybe you weren't prepared for?
It was kind of tough a little bit. Even though I call and talk to him every day, but not physically, be there and hold him and hug him and this, that, and the third. But it's just part of this profession. I could have seen him, but with all this COVID and all this stuff going on, I wouldn't risk him getting on the plane, especially at that age. So I just told myself, just keep pushing, and I'll be able to see him soon.
Hey, Deebo, a couple of your teammates today have talked about what you played through. I don't think you were really on the injury report with much, but they indicated maybe you were dealing with stuff that wasn't on the injury report. Was this tough for you, or did you surprise yourself with what you were able to withstand?
Yeah, I kind of had this conversation with one of my close friends about how this year went, and kind of like I asked him, I was like, did you think the year was going to be this way? He was like, yeah, and then he said, did you? I was like, nah, not really, but as time progressed, and some teams get better, some teams get worse, some players get better, some players get worse as the season go, and I just feel like us as a whole and all the other players around just got better, and we were just able to put ourselves in a position to be where we was at and just fell up short.
Deebo, a lot was put on your plate this year on the offense. Going through it, what did you learn about yourself, and did it surprise you how you were able to produce on the offense?
It did kind of catch me by surprise about all the things that I was able to do and accomplish this year, but it's just like I stated a while ago, it's just a trust thing that I've built with Kyle and Mike and all the other guys, just to get the ball in my hands, just to be able to go out there and just do what they know I can do.
Deebo, you've made it clear how much you enjoy being here, playing for Kyle and your teammates there. How much of a priority is it for you this offseason to get a contract extension done? It'll be the first time you're eligible for that.
That is not my call. That is out of my hands.
You guys good? Thank you, Deebo.
About looking at some of these final games with Jimmy as their last games and the emotions that went into it. How was that yesterday, kind of during the game, after the game, and have you had time to process that?
Yeah, during the game, I wasn't thinking about it too much, just because we really felt like we were going to win that game, and it didn't feel like things were coming to an end until it actually did happen. But afterwards we had time to hang out in the locker room, hang out on the plane and whatnot, and kind of process those emotions. And it wasn't easy, but I've expressed to you guys and to him privately just how much I've appreciated Jimmy, and what an awesome teammate and just a brother he's been, to me and all the other guys. So it wasn't easy, but we love him and we wish him the best.
Kyle, the kind of obvious follow-up to that is, Trey, you got to see him all year. You've been around him, see him develop. What do you think is his state of readiness, assuming it goes the way we think, and he's going to be the guy next year?
Yeah, assuming if that's the case, I think I'm excited to see what he does with this offseason, because I've seen what kind of work ethic he has. I've seen what kind of drive he has, with the type of person he is, and I know he's one that's going to dedicate everything to preparing himself and getting ready and being ready to lead this team if that's what he's asked to do this next season. And I think he's definitely going to be the type of guy that's going to step up to the plate and be ready to do that.
Hey, Kyle, after a season ends in the playoffs, no one looks ahead and says, I don't know, next year's not going to be too good. But, it does seem like you guys have reason for optimism as you look to the future. What are some of the biggest reasons to you, to think you could be back in the same place, if not further, next year?
Yeah, I think the easy answer to that would just be to point out the type of talent that we have and the type of young talent that we have and guys that are going to be here for a long time. I think that's the easy answer, but I think what the real answer is what we went through this season and the type of resolve and resiliency that we found and established as a team. that's not easy to do. You have to go through things in order to do that. And yeah, you can collect a lot of talent and put a lot of good football players on the field. But it's not enough to win a championship in this league. It really isn't. But the fact that we were able to overcome so much this season and know what it takes to do that, I think that bodes really well for us going forward when you can combine that experience with the talent that we do have.
Couple more.
Kyle, you've been one of the guys who said how special this locker room is since you've gotten here. What about this year? Is it even more just because of what you've gone through? And then also, what did you learn about yourself this year?
Yeah, no, it really is. It really is special, and I truly believe that we have one of the best locker rooms in this league. And I think you're right, because we went through so much together this year. I think it's made it even more special. And true friendships and bonds are made by going through adversities with one another and having shared experiences. And when you go through a season like we did with one another, it really truly does bring you closer and tighter together. And I think I just learned that I'm surrounded. It's not just on me. It's as a competitor, as an athlete. It's you always want to shoulder as much of the adversity you want to shoulder as much as you can yourself. But I think I just learned this year that I have a whole locker room full of guys that can take on a lot themselves. I'm surrounded by really tough, gritty, resilient people, and it's not just on me. And I can truly rely on my teammates.
Last two.
Question about a different Trey, Trey Sermon. I mean, you've got two rookies in your room going into their first full off season.
Mm-hmm.
Do you give advice to them? I mean, and if you could, what would your advice be, especially for Sermon, who didn't really have a huge role for a big chunk of the season for you guys?
Yeah, most definitely. I've talked to both of them a lot, and I told them I want to continue to reach out to them in the off season, answer any questions they have. And I spoke about it earlier in the season. In regards to Trey Sermon specifically, my rookie year, I played 4 offensive snaps the entire year. I was only on special teams, and that changed quickly in my second year. I became a full-time starter, and my career went on from there. And that's possible for him too. But it takes an off season of dedicating everything you have, to your craft, to this profession, and just really becoming a better player. And I've given some tips to both him and Mitch on what I think is expected from both of them. And just because I have eyes, I've been in the league for now I'm going to go into my 10th year after this off season. So I've seen a lot of players come in and out, and I feel like I have a good feel of the type of things that they're looking for and what sticks around in this league. So I just try to help them, point that out to them and let them take care of it from there.
Last one, Eric.
Hey, Kyle, I know the Cardinals through the years have really made a concerted effort to stop your guys' running game. And it seems like the Rams, tried to do that too. I don't know if they, were doing the same type of in the same type of scheme or whatever. But was it similar in that way in the way they were selling out?
Similar to Arizona?
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't think about it, till you point that out. But yeah, it's similar in that way, and I think that's something you can expect when you're playing a division opponent who you've already seen twice earlier in the year, and this is the third go around. They without a doubt know us better than anyone else. But yeah, I mean, hats off to LA. They're extremely aggressive, extremely downhill on defense, and they presented us with some looks that we hadn't seen, and they did a good job. They had a good plan, and it worked out well for them.
Thank you, Kyle.
Yep. Thanks, guys.
What did you learn about yourself?
What I learn about myself? I've learned that everything that you do in the off season leads to the season. The work that you put in is what you reap in the end. You just deal with a lot of stuff and see how you can deal with it. See how you can be the same person every single day, even when you're not having your best day. And it made my life a lot easier being around a team that could support me in times that I wasn't at 100%. I wasn't myself, and so that was very awesome and beneficial. And the more I'm in the league, the more I learn how, whether it's the turnover of organizations and people and buildings and stuff like that, from players, coaches, just the wear and tear, and how hard a long season is, especially 17 weeks with one bye week. It's a long season that takes a toll on your body, but it just makes me really appreciate like I said, the team that I have, and also the owner we have that provides all the rehab and rehabilitation stuff that we have access to throughout the week, which allows our best players and our team to play at a high level regardless of injuries. So just being able to deal with adversity has taught me a lot about myself.
I know you worked a lot last off season on balance beam stuff and foot and ankle. Is there a focus? You have an idea yet on what you want to kind of hone in on this off season?
Yeah, we've thought about it a little bit. I have a circle of people that helps me with those types of decisions, and in the last couple months, they've been working with the people that I work with in the off season to try to make a plan that makes the most sense. And whether that's a little bit less here, a little bit more there, I don't want to give away all my secrets to you guys, but I'm looking forward to it. And we've, I might not be training here for a little bit. I'm going to take a little bit of time off to let the body recover, but no, I'm looking forward to this off season because there are definitely steps and strides to still be made, just as myself as a player and as a person, and I think I can accomplish a lot of those things going into next year.
George, you said yesterday that physically you're going through some stuff.
That's not what I said.
I don't think you said stuff. You might have said a different word. Are you going to need any sort of off-season surgeries? And kind of to elaborate on what you just talked about, what is your plan? Is how much time do you just take off, let your body rest before you get back grinding?
No, luckily I don't need any types of surgeries. It's awesome. My recovery process will be take a couple weeks off and let the body heal. And if I still feel pain in 3 to 4 weeks, I'll call my trainers and let them know I need something else. But fortunately, it's nothing that it's just rest is what my body needs at this point. But I made it through the whole season, which I'm pretty proud of. What was your second part of that question? All right, good.
George, you've talked a lot about your yoga practice, and it's kind of a strange question, but how has that mindfulness helped you in the last, let's say, 18 hours?
Mindfulness is something that I always try to practice. The yoga stuff does definitely help with it, but last 18 hours is, we lost the game, and while it's terrible and it's not fun, and what I usually say, it does suck. You gotta enjoy the moments that you did have, because I'm not a person that's just gonna sit in my airplane seat and wallow for the hour trip flight and just be sad about it. You gotta enjoy the moments with the people that you're around, because I think Jimmy said it best last night. Smile because it happened, and you just want to embrace those moments. And obviously, you want to look back and learn from those mistakes and all the things that went wrong, and you want to be better from them. But at this exact moment, you just gotta enjoy it, no matter how bad it sucks, and you just gotta enjoy it with the people that are around you, and just like I said, you just got to embrace it.
Couple more.
Hey George, before you went in IR early in the season, I think John Lynch said you felt like the sensation of like your calf a knife was going into your calf. Not great. Did you aggravate that? I don't know if you ever were fully recovered from that, but did you aggravate that later in the season?
No, it was just kind of a thing I was dealing with the whole season, but like I said, it's more of just lower body injuries.
George, a minute ago you mentioned the chance to kind of just relish the moments that you have with people. With Jimmy last night, did you take a moment to talk to him, to have anything like that where, maybe this is our last flight together, anything like that? What was that like?
Yes and no. Like I said, I'm immediately following that, and you're on the buses for a while, and you're waiting to get on an airplane. Like, you spend a lot of time talking with all the guys, and it's more of a not really wanting to think too far into the future because of all the unknowns. And, I'm not going to spend my last, whatever it is, 2-3 hours with this team because of how different it's probably going to be next year. I'm not going to spend it just thinking about what's going to happen. And I just kind of spent all last night just enjoying what did and enjoying those last couple hours I had with that team because it will be very different coming up.
Thank you, George.
Thanks, guys.
Hey, Faithful, don't forget to click here and subscribe.